Hey yo, Starfall Production. Yeah, Jesus is King, bro. The devil knows that. Yeah. Yo, stepping the light, got my faith on the grind. Jesus is King, yeah, I'm never left behind. Walking through the valley, got my head held high. When the world throws shit, I just reach for the sky. Blessed with the vision and the truth in the boots. Spitting fire like a prophet, yeah, I'm living the proof. Crown on my head, in my voice of the streets. With the rhythm of the gospel, feel the heat in the beats, Breaking chains, no shame, I'm the light in the dark. Every step that I take, man, I'm living a mark. Faith like a fortress, I'm built to withstand. With the spirit in my soul, I'm the path of his plan. No fear in my eyes, I'm the soldier for this cause. With the love of the king, breaking all the laws. Buster in the zone, I'm raising the stakes. When you ride with the Lord, man, the world shakes. Yeah, I see so many people rejoicing. I see rejoicing over there. Jesus is king. Now I got to teach you a small chorus. Listen. Jesus is king. Jesus, everybody.
Jesus
Hey,
is king. Jesus.
I say, Jesus is king. Jesus is everybody.
Jesus is king.
Jesus is king. Jesus, everybody.
Jesus is king. Jesus.
Jesus is king. Jesus, everybody.
Jesus is king. Jesus.
Starfall Production.
Oh,
And you already know what's ticking.
yeah.
The come of the Lord, bro. Hope you born ready or you're ready. Everybody knows that Jesus is King. Yeshua HaMashiach.
Yeah.
Jesus is King. Everybody.
Jesus is king. Jesus.